All right. They are losing Maverick. All right, Maverick.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for
Amazing.
having me.
Of course. Thank
Yeah.
you for being a part of this.
Oh, of course. I love this.
But yeah, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Maverick. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I represent Gigabots, the System Crew, 5A, and TDD. And thank you so much for having me here, Lam.
Awesome. Thank you. But yeah, bro, I've been knowing you for over from DanceFight app. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the next question, this question, I think we are all experienced that but everybody have different way to handle it. How do you handle a loss in a battle?
Yeah, so this is a great question. Before I was a dancer, I played a bunch of sports. I played basketball. I also did volleyball and stuff too. I was a skateboarder as well. And basically what I'm saying is I come from a competitive background. I'm sure anyone out there has a competitive nature. And no one really likes to lose. No one that feeling of losing does suck. It sucks to be oh man, I didn't make it past a certain round, or I didn't win, etc. Right? But another way of thinking about losing is we tend to think about if we lose, we associate that with failure, and that is okay. And when we fail at anything in life, it feels like it sucks. But if we did not have those failures, we wouldn't know what we would be grateful for. So in a sense, those failures or those losses, you can think of them as losses, but those losses are actually lessons. And the more lessons you learn throughout battling, they do add up. And even if you take 1,000 losses, or even if you don't make it past prelims for years or whatever, all those experiences are gonna stack together, and eventually you'll have at least one blessing moment, or at least you should, right? So these losses are your lessons. It's okay to feel upset. Feel upset. Be mad. What's not okay is to sit on it and dwell on it, right? It's not okay to dwell on it and waste the majority of your time. Instead of learning the lesson, you choosing to dwell on the feeling. You're supposed to take the lesson and learn how you could get better from it and go back to practice, right? It's okay to feel upset, but go back to practice right after. If you want to cope with, and a lot of people, how they cope with feeling upset or having a loss, whether they lost a job, lost a family member, is go and practice. Go work on something that you feel will make you better. And that goes back to the culture part, how we move through our lives makes us better. So yeah, go back to practicing if you feel upset.
Awesome, that's beautiful. But yeah, first question to you, what freestyle dance mean to you?
The first thing I like to think of when I think of freestyle dance is I break the word up, because it's free and then there's styles, right? When you choose to come into the dance world, you're choosing to experience a lot of different styles, whether you start from a choreo background, or whether you're interested in learning Afro dance, house, popping, hip hop, breaking, whatever it is. All these styles come from different cultures. So in a sense, what freestyle means to me is you're being free to learn any of these styles or any of these cultures in order to help you build your own style or your own identity. So that's kind of the basic way of how I think about freestyle. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it did make sense.
Okay.
For sure. And thank you so much for really in-depth answer. And y'all need to take notes. Need to take notes. Learn the style, learn the culture. Come on. Do you have a dance philosophy?
Do I have a dance philosophy?
Yeah.
A way of thinking with my dance?
Yes.
I guess my philosophy is when I was in 6th grade, you know how everyone has their favorite teacher in school, right? In 6th grade, I had one of like the best teachers I had in all of schooling, and it was like my social studies class. And his name was Mr. Harris. Shout out to him if he's watching this somehow.
Let's go, Mr. Harris.
But in that social studies class, you know, he basically talks about the definition of culture, right? Now, if you look up the definition of a culture on Google or in the dictionary, they're all gonna say different things, but the very basic way on how he defined culture is the way of life of a group of people. So when we dance, right, we're choosing to live a certain way because we're moving a certain way every single day throughout their lives, right? So in a sense, my dance philosophy is basically choose how you want to move throughout your day. You know, any way you move, it's gonna impact you, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, etc. along those lines. So I think choosing how you want to move, whether, you know, it could be metaphorical of like learning a style, choosing if you want to be a breaker, popper, or choosing if you want to do choreo versus freestyle. And it could be literal, choosing how you literally want to move throughout the day in your life. When do you want to wake up? Right? When do you want to work out? When do you go to work? When do you eat? Right? See, all these things have moving parts in the way we live our lives, right? And that's basically our culture. So yeah, dance gives me a certain way of how I live my life. Yeah.
Cool. That's super dope. So you say your style is animation, animation.
Yeah.
No wonder you are so anime. Yeah, if you ever, you know, like know Maverick in person and you got to hang with you, everybody gonna say, yeah, he's like an anime character in real life. now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you for the answer. But how do you think that losing can lead to growth? As a dancer, as a human or person?
Yeah, so yeah, in a sense, losses, like I said before, we associate them with failures. And, you know, I guess I did kind of answer this before. You can look at these losses as like either as like, oh, you know, like it sucks to lose, it sucks to feel this way. But it's really important to look at these losses as lessons, because either way you're gaining experience, and it's important to use this experience as lessons that will help you guide you throughout your whole life, you know, whether it's in dance, how to get better in battles and whatnot, or even like, you know, in your everyday life, like if something small inconveniently happens to you, like I think what you can learn about getting over the loss in a dance battle is the very same as getting over something that is like an inconvenient in your daily life. You know, feel it first, feel upset, feel angry, whatnot, and then move along throughout your day, you know? Move along throughout your day, because you know, there's a lot more better things you could spend your time on, like learning from those experiences and getting better from them. Versus, like I said, it's not okay to dwell on the past for a very long time. That's how you get stuck in time, you know? So I hope that makes sense.
It makes so much sense, bro. And thank you so much for the answer. Loving it. Yeah, the last one. What's your biggest dream of dancing? You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, like your whole life, but maybe like the next 3 years, the next couple of years or 5 years, but yeah.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. I guess I'll start from like the short term to the immediate long term. In the short term, I grew up here in Seattle, and I would love to grow the dance scene here more, at least in the Seattle, Portland, even Vancouver area, the northwest area of the map here, at least here in America. And what does it mean that I want to grow it? I want to bring more like dance education to people, you know, awareness of a bunch of different styles. I want to bring more events, you know, a lot of more community events, whether it's sessions, you know, classes, maybe free workshops, and then like also battles, right? And then the third thing I want to do as well too, in a sense, is just to have a lot, I guess it goes with the second thing I said, but I have a lot more community events, whether it's a bunch of dancers meeting up for picnics, you know, for like a picnic or something, or we go to the beach or something fun like that, you know, because it's small things like that that are really motivating for people to keep on doing what we love to do. At least that's what I see myself doing here in Seattle. In the next 3 years or whatnot, I do want to like compete internationally, and just like spread my wings around the world. But the reason why I want to do that is because of my long-term goal, because I love the style of animation, because I love bopping, you know, I want to bring more awareness and more appreciation to the style that I do, that, you know, like really, it added a lot to my life, you know, it makes me feel more lively. And I at least want to like twist the narrative, at least in the popping world, that hey, you can use animation, you can use bopping, you can use these things, you know. And I eventually see, I see the world in the next 10, maybe 15 years, at least in the popping side, that there's gonna be like half the amount of people are gonna do either animation and popping, and the other half are gonna do like bug, strutting, all the other styles that are within popping, you know. Right. So I really just want to bring more awareness to the style of animation, because it's such a beautiful thing, man. Like to be able to pretend to be something else, you know, that and still dance throughout a character. That's amazing. Like, bro, we can all be kids, you know, and combining that with, you know, the other styles within popping, bug, strutting, things like that. That'll be amazing, you know. So yeah, my overall goal in the next however long it takes is to bring more awareness and appreciation to the animation style.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Amazing answer. Yeah, and you know, I think like animation is open so much more. Now you don't have to do, you know, popping. It's like animation. You can do any style, you can animate everything. Yes. You know, and like that is like where is the power of animation is coming in. But yeah, thank you so much for, you know, like your wisdom. Thank you so much for your thought. People, I'm a comic right now. People, if you are in Seattle ever, reach out this man. You know, he's like the sword of the truth. He know what's up. He know what he's doing. He's crazy. He's style crazy. If you have any question about animation, follow Maverick on Instagram. Link here. Ding, ding. All right, Instagram, whatever, you know. But thank you so much, bro. Yeah, so much for this, you know, like this great time, you know, conversation, because it mean a lot, you know. Yeah. Who know, you know, people after they watch this, you know, video, they will inspire to do something, to take action, to learn animation. Go learn animation.
Choose how you want to live. Like I said, dance means culture, and culture means the way of life of a group of people. So choose how you want to move every day.
Bam. Bam! Alright, y'all, thank you so much. And we will see you in the next The Art of Losing. Peace!